Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we are merely moments away from the best week in the gaming year. E3 is upon us, and today also is episode 15 of Can't Stop Playing. Thank God it's Pod Day. I'm your host, Zach Ghost Robo, and joining me, as always, is the man who wishes his last name was Gilbert, wearing the red and mustard yellow, Gabe, the Cavalier fan, Volatile Gabe.
No.
I'm disappointed in your LeBron love.
I don't have any LeBron love. Is what you don't understand. I have a hate for everybody's LeBron hate. Like,
okay, all right.
The man does not deserve that.
All
because I will say this, and Lucy hates LeBron with a passion, right?
Okay.
And she's sitting there. He's such a baby. This and that. I'm not, man. He's one of the best players in the NBA, whether you like it or not. He really is.
You just have such a big heart. You don't want haters to be hating on anything.
Well, no, haters can hate.
You just said you hated the haters.
No, I hate the LeBron haters.
Okay, just the LeBron haters.
A wise person once said, "Haters gonna hate Zachary." I don't know if you know this, but that was a very wise person.
News to me.
Oh, Taylor Swift's lyric. All right, but come on, man. He's one of the best players in the NBA. It's not his fault that these stupid Michael Jordan comparisons get brought up. It's not like he's saying, like, "Hey, I'm Michael Jordan." Like, he's not doing any of this. Like.
Do you think there's any chance that, like, if the world, like, just ends and they end up finding Taylor Swift's lyrics, like, the next civilization would adapt her as, like, this gospel? The big, haters gonna hate. And that's gonna be part of, like, the morning routines and everything like that. That would be good. Like, you know how
every morning you're shaking it off.
Yeah,
I gotta say that, like, since that concert, I've been having some epic dance parties in my car with, like, full blaring Taylor Swift fiestas, and I even got my 13-year-old brother to, like, decide that it's actually not so bad. So
it's not. Back to the LeBron thing, right? Like, all right, it's cool to hate. It's cool to hate LeBron, and that's fine. But what is less cool is to jump on this Golden State bandwagon and pretend like you care about a team that no one has cared about in years.
Yeah,
and
but
all of a sudden
they have one of the craziest arenas, so clearly people do care.
No, I know, but nobody's ever vocal about it. Like,
did they lose the finals game?
Basketball, it's an orange sphere. You throw it.
Yeah, I know. Wasn't there a final between Cavaliers?
Well, the finals in basketball last 7 games, or like close to 7 games.
7 games.
First to win 4 games.
So it's like,
but yeah,
okay,
yeah.
So it's like hockey.
Zachary, who cared about Steph Curry before, like, this year? Maybe last year, maybe.
He's the MVP this year, so.
Yeah, but no one cared about him.
He's the best shooter in NBA history.
He's amazing. He has a great level of skill. He's super proficient. His shots, like, he literally just looks the other way, throws it up, like, in the weirdest way possible, and it goes in. That's fine. But no one cared about him before this year.
You know what else no one cares about?
Basketball.
Basketball. That's why we have Max here, to bring in the whole other side of the spectrum, all the way from Canada, which, let me tell you, I found out the most interesting fact about Canada this week.
Okay.
There was a report from Nintendo Canada that Canada has more Nintendo fans per capita than the United States, so I'm considering a move.
That's probably true, because we did get that Splatoon Mall remake.
You did.
Which you didn't, so obviously that's an indicator.
Here's my ignorance, but you guys are much smaller than us, are you not?
In terms of physically size? Or
that's true as well.
Okay, all right. I walked into that one. Yes, that one confirmed you guys are smaller. I'm just saying landmass. You guys are smaller than us, or no?
No. Canada is the second largest country in the world.
Again, there's my ignorance. I just don't know. I don't look up ever.
Yeah, at some point I think Canada was first, but then with the whole Alaska and everything like that, I think that's, like, I'm pretty sure now Russia is the biggest and then Canada is second. As a land mass. Now, a lot of it is barely, like, there isn't actually people, like, settled in. Most of the people live, like, right next to the border. Like, that's the most populated cities, generally speaking. Like,
so you guys have, like, a giant wall that no one can go over, and you guys have...
Yeah, well, it's kind of...
You guys have the
really
Night's Watch, basically.
Yeah, it's a tree line, which is interesting. Yeah.
So you guys are on a giant tree house making sure that nothing comes...
Don't go in the forest.
Yeah, staying peaceful, playing Nintendo games. That's what we do.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that philosophy a lot. And we will be playing a lot of games next week. E3, so many announcements already, and so many big ones coming. So many hints. Like, that's kind of the funnest part of right now, is like seeing someone tweet out like, "Oh, Guerrilla Games has started a new Twitter account, and they're going to be at E3." And just different companies. Rare made an indication, or Retro, made an indication that they're going to be at E3. Rare will be there as well. And so I thought we'd just start things off by kind of going over the announcements that have already been released and each pick, like, our favorite of what has been leaked thus far.
Okay, I'll start with the Guardian. The Guardian.
Oh, the Guardian with the Guardian.
I just thought that was funny, and Zach pointed it out, right? And it didn't even click right away. I'm like, oh yeah, that's funny. The Guardian was reporting that the last Guardian will finally like reemerge. It'll rear its little bird head out of a gopher hole. I don't know what it's doing in there, but it's in there. And
It's a pretty small hole for that creature. Like it's a like it's like a Diglett where its nose is popping out, but underneath it's like,
Yeah, it might be.
you don't know-
Yeah, it might be the size of a giant.
Yeah,
I
you
always
don't know
thought
what
about
lies
that.
beneath.
Is there a theory about like the Diglett that's just like his head or like
Yeah.
his thumb or something like
Yeah,
that?
yeah,
And then
yeah,
there's like a
yeah.
huge muscular body underneath.
Oh, I wish
that
I
would
could
be
say what I
brilliant.
want to say, but I'm under NDA because there's something hilarious. I'll tell you guys off the air about that. Anyways,
about
Oh,
Diglett.
interesting.
yeah, the Diglett NDAs I've
Interesting.
been signing. Can't talk about Diglett. I was at
The
I was at
Diglett solo
Diglett Con
game is
2015. Yeah.
Solo game confirmed. That's it. We know it now.
But,
But do we really
it's a
think that
Diglett-
game's going to be anything like what we saw? Like, it's so weird because I feel like this, like, it's going to be so different. I don't know. Because, I mean, what we saw was, like, just that creature and like, the kid, and that's basically it. So,
They're getting some help developing, right? So
yeah, I don't know.
the
I feel like that
masterminds
game is going to
behind
be very
Neck,
different.
the mastermind behind Neck is going to go over and help finish it off.
Yeah,
Sure.
the idea is that Mark Cerny has been working to pump this thing out. Do you think that's like a full retail game still?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Coming
for
out this year for Sony?
Nah, I don't know about that one, but
sure. Well, during our predictions, I'm pretty sure I did say coming out during this year.
I think you
So, that was the big gamble, but hey, listen. I hope I'm
look, Max.
I hope I'm right.
You got to play to win.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Sometimes you need to take chances.
Now,
Yeah,
my
I
dream
did.
for The Last Guardian is that there's a bunch of really cute skins you can put on the creature so I can dress him
For
up.
$5 each,
A
right?
giraffe, yeah. Or I could make him look like an Eskimo, or I could make
And you
him
still
look...
want it to be a full price game.
Right.
So
Mm-hmm.
$60 and then 500 skins.
Have you seen the jellyfish skin for Wraith and Evolved that came
Oh
out
yeah,
yesterday?
of course, yeah.
Yeah.
That really made me rethink that game completely.
I'm glad.
When I saw the jellyfish skin, I was like, you know what? We were too harsh on this game. It really is a hidden 10 out of 10 in disguise. It was just disguised behind a bunch of jellyfish.
Yeah,
That's
it was
why.
disguised as a jellyfish. How are we
Yeah.
supposed to see it?
Kelp Dome also came out in Splatoon. I don't know if you guys have seen it. It's the
Yeah,
newest
yeah,
map. That map like changes the game because there's so much space. Scores have been like
Going
like,
way up. Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen 2,000 point scores. It's like artificially
Yeah.
inflating everyone's egos.
That's the map that
So-
you want to get Splat God on, by the way.
Yes.
Wait, all
That's
right. So, are you a Splat Super God? Super
Nah,
Saiyan
he's
God?
a Splat genie now.
We, I someone asked me this yesterday on Twitter. They're like, if Splat God is 1,000, what is 2,000? I said Splat Master.
Oh, Splat Master. So you would put Master above God. Interesting.
Well, no.
The Master
Right.
of Gods.
Oh, okay. Master God.
Right.
That's what you're going to
Okay.
call it.
This can be taken into weird places. Let's move off of
This
that.
sounds like some sort of weird like Dragon Ball Z sequel, like Super Saiyan 4?
Yeah,
Super
yeah.
Saiyan
Right.
4
Super
and a
Saiyan
half?
God is a thing.
Remember how like Trunks never actually hit Super Saiyan 2? He was like 1.5 or something
Yeah,
like that. So it's like so ridiculous.
The new series is going to start super soon. I wonder if it's going to come to Crunchyroll.
and
I
it's
don't
called
think
Super, so
Yeah. You think it comes to Crunchyroll? How does that work?
probably. I hope
'Cause
so.
I know-
Because I have a
'cause,
Crunchyroll thing, so I hope that.
Because I know there's some series that like they air in Japan and then an hour later they're on Crunchyroll.
Yeah.
Zach, I know you don't give a damn.
Simulcast, I think, or whatever call it.
Yeah.
Oh.
So man, if we could get that and like someone can make up dubs on the internet really quickly.
It would be
That'd be
funny
cool.
though if like just for the sake of getting it to us like an hour later they would just make up dubs. Like they would just come up with stuff to be like geeky instead of Goku. They'll just like write up like random things.
Yeah.
Doesn't have anything to do with what's happening on the screen.
My question is, why is the hyperbolic time chamber called the hyperbolic time chamber instead of the hyperbaric time chamber, which makes all the more sense
Because the
in the
whole
world?
idea was that it was exaggerating your power.
Yeah.
But hyperbaric is like a real word that means like, oh, like hyperbaric sleep, like it's more effective sleep. And instead they're like, let's talk about math, guys. The hyperbolic time chamber.
I don't
Well,
know.
it could be like a hyperbole also.
Oh, okay.
Also Japan.
All right. Yeah,
See?
that's true.
Yeah. That's the other thing.
Either way, I
Japan.
want to know how much time they've been spending in that. They must be like Super Saiyan 13 by the time this series.
Oh yeah,
releases.
they better hit like Super Saiyan 50. I wonder how many episodes it takes to power up to Super Saiyan like 50. It's going to be like a good 30, 40 episodes.
They're going to do the blue hair right away, aren't they? I think. Like the blue hair, that's the new Super Saiyan.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
The blue is hair. Better than gold.
Oh, Zach's going to love it because they're going to
they had red hair.
Yeah, they did, yeah.
Goku went Super Saiyan God during one of the movies, and I'm assuming he's going to do it again during the Resurrection of F.
I doubt it because that it was like a limited thing. I'm guessing. I doubt that he goes God mode in the series.
Limited time offer, one time use.
Yeah, it's a limit. It's you can't.
Oh, I mean, no, I'm saying the new blue one happens during the Resurrection of F. Coming to theaters soon for a week.
What are you plugging them? Like this guy? This guy's like coming to a theater near you. It's excellent, really. It is.
Gabe has been hypnotized by Shenron. In our oft forgotten segment, Design a Nintendo Ride. I have one today.
Okay, here we go.
Which is, it's kind of like a choose your own adventure roguelike ride. Okay. So you're Mario and you're in a little cart. And you have to make different path choices, weapon choices, like you're going to bring the ice fireball, you're going to bring the fire fireball, the Tanuki suit, Karibo's shoe, and then you come up against different enemies and have to like duke it out with them, kind of like that Toy Story 3D ride at Disney World or Disneyland, both. And then, if you meet your fate, then you just get dropped down to the lower floor, like instantly roller coaster drop down, and you're removed from the ride. So your ride could last 5 seconds, 5 minutes, and if you get to the castle, then they take the whole Disney princess concept to a higher level, and you actually get a kiss from Princess Peach.
Wow, interesting. That's
who would they hire as Princess Peach?
Whatever girls look like Peach.
I've never been to like a amusement park in any way.
Okay.
I've been to a carnival.
Okay.
Does that mean that you're assuming? What if you go into this though as a female? Like, do you also have to portray as Mario? Because you're gonna have to consider all the possibilities.
Right. Okay. All right.
Right. You have to be open-minded.
What if it's Bruce Jenner after
he
changed into what's her name?
What are you gonna do then? He's gonna play Peach?
Oh. No.
She's gonna play Peach. Sorry.
There's. You can be as Rosalina, okay, for the girls. You can be as Mario for the boys, or you can be as Yoshi for the people that don't want to be either.
That's perfect. There you go.
I want to be Wario.
That's good. I like that.
That's for the Americans.
Welcoming everybody. Everybody's on board.
Yeah.
Beautiful. My most excited thing that happened this week was the Diddy Kong trademark that Nintendo made over in the European territories for a game. I still think the rumor I've heard for 2 years now, which is that Monster Games, the company behind Excite Truck and Excite Bots, has been working on Diddy Kong Racing 2 as sort of like another
side
multiplayer
project.
bash fest for the Wii U. And I think if that was announced, and the rumor is that it would feature a lot of side characters, not just like the weirdo animal critters
probably will have an amiibo tie-in, right?
Yeah. So I was reading that could be a way for them to squeeze in the Kamek, the Waluigis, all kind of like the side weird characters into this racing game as the
Greninja
misfit,
and Charizard.
Right. Misfit racing.
So it's Super Smash Racing.
Yeah.
Why don't they do that? Super Smash Racer or something.
I mean, that's kind of what Mario Kart was leaning towards a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, they introduced Link.
Yeah, but you don't get to drive as Mewtwo or Ness and stuff.
You can't wear a costume.
Drive as Mewtwo though. At that point, it's kind of ridiculous.
Just fly around.
What kind of conversation do you have to have with a Pokemon to be like, listen, Charizard, you have to drive this card, buddy, when he can fly? It's a pretty tough sell.
I mean, Bowser sets up a tournament. He wants everyone to race, and the winner gets Peach and cake.
So this is Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
Why is Peach always the final thing?
Peach. Look, there's 3 girls in the Mushroom Kingdom. You got Daisy, Peach, and Rosalina, so they're heavily sought after.
I never actually thought about that. That is kind of weird.
No, I mean there's Toadette, I guess.
She's not really a girl though.
Well,
why not?
She's female.
She's a fungi. Female fungus?
Yeah.
I just don't think Mario's into that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know.
I mean,
he does eat a lot of mushrooms, though. So
everyone knows Rosalina is where it's at. Peach, she's the lady of the past. She can stay.
She's the lady of the past.
She's 80 years old at this point.
I think Rosalina intimidates Mario though because she's so much taller than him. It's Peach has a couple inches, but Rosalina's wham.
Yeah.
Rosalina's like the Taylor Swift of
and
the
that
Martian
crown
Kingdom.
doesn't help, right? The little crown extends it even further.
Yeah.
And then Luma is making it extra awkward, and you're like, what's happening?
The real question is, what is underneath her dress? Because she's a heavy character in like Mario Kart, Smash Brothers. Like, what is...
She's been training
question.
in a hyperbolic time chamber that you're talking about.
Yeah.
She was just training the whole time.
Yeah, that's the real question, guys, is what's underneath her dress?
Write in to can'tstopasking@gmail.com if you have theories on what's beneath Rosalina's dress, and that will take precedent over anything that gets announced next week.
Poor Daisy. No one cares about Daisy.
I don't know why. She was like... Paulina is the most like Daisy, and that's like the OG Mario princess.
Yeah.
All right.
Move off of this, please.
Games that are actually relevant right now. Max, what are you more excited for? Dark Souls 3 or Mirror's Edge Catalyst or Frozone?
Or Lego Game of Thrones?
I think he's frozen.
Is he?
Maxwell.
Oh. I thought he was just messing with us.
Maybe he still is.
No, he's frozen.
Are you sure? It's like the longest con ever right here. We're getting the most intense stare down ever. This is like the Canadian super move right now.
The amount of like concentration he would need to like just be messing with us right now.
It's pretty impressive. All right. Oh, you're back.
Nope.
Was that real?
He's mute.
Sorry about that. Yeah.
For a second,
we're good. I just kept recording. Don't worry.
Okay.
You don't have to
Yeah. No, we are good. We are good.
All right.
I'm sorry. I thought it was you. I'm like just sitting here. I'm like, why is he frozen? And then I'm like, wait, is it me? And then I realized, yes, it is indeed me.
On our end, it looked like you were like just sitting there staring.
It looked like
at
you
us
were just giving like the most like epic concentration
Profound,
phase.
Yeah. I thought you were just messing with us for a moment. I'm like, what, Max? Like, stop this.
I'm sorry.
Dark Souls 3, Mirror's Edge Catalyst. You got a preference here?
Well, Mirror's Edge is my preferred choice out of those. I haven't played Dark Souls, but to be fair, I do like Bloodborne a lot, so maybe I'll try Dark Souls finally, kind of the originator of the whole thing, but I'm way more psyched about Mirror's Edge, so
me and
bring
Gabriel
that
had this
on.
big talk about, like, they said Mirror's Edge Catalyst is not a sequel, but a reimagining. It has the same characters, the same, like, basic gameplay ideas, the same colors, and like, what does that even mean? Not a sequel, but a reimagining.
Does that mean they're going to do it, like, as a reboot? Like, is it going to be the same? Or are they just trying to say, like, okay, hey, ignore all the storyline from the last one?
I think it's the same way Infamous Second Son didn't call itself Infamous 3. Like, hey, we want to make this IP as fresh as possible.
No, this isn't like that.
I think it is.
They don't want to call it a reboot, but it's closer to a reboot. Like, the Infamous stuff is still happening in that world. All the cool stuff still happened.
Yeah.
It's just, it's a different city, different character, all that, right? This, they haven't said that, because it could easily also be a prequel, but then how do you do that? Because Faith was like, the antithesis of what she becomes happens during the game, so I don't think they can do it. I think it's a reboot, but they don't want to call it a reboot.
I mean, nothing that significant happened in the first game, like story-wise. It wasn't like, and then the city turned to zombies, and
but her sister being killed and all that.
In the trailer that they showed last E3, they do show her getting the eye tattoo, so that would imply that maybe it is an origin story of some sort, and so maybe they're just retconning everything to make up whatever they want to make up or something.
Yeah.
Either way, I think that game looks awesome, and it has a vertical logo on the box art. So
that's nifty.
Turn your head sideways when you walk into Walmart and see that one.
You have to play it the whole time like that, too.
I wouldn't be surprised. That game made some people feel insanely sick. So
I also mentioned it jokingly, but how cool would the Lego Game of Thrones be, Max?
It would be interesting because I don't know how you get around all the incest and violence. Like, how do you make that like Lego goofy? Like,
I don't know, but you could do it.
I mean, it would be epic. The Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit games are some of the best. So yeah, it would be really cool.
I really want to see more Mirror's Edge. Like, I want to see what the level design's gonna be like, because they've said that it's gonna be a little bit more open, not open world, but that there's gonna be more ways to go about doing things.
I still think it's open world.
Completely open world. So like run to the mission, activate mission, that kind of. Oh man,
That's my guess. I mean, EA doesn't really have a whole lot like that. I think it's a good chance for them to do it. And if you read back into their comments over the past 3-4 years, they wanted to explore opening up the entire city. And personally, I think that might be very cool. If it maintains that same system of like free running, I would rather do all that jumping and cool stuff than driving my car from Trevor to Michael in GTA or whatever.
Then how big is the city? Like, damn.
I mean, the other thing I kind of thought about is how like Need for Speed and some of those games in the past have almost like created mini races out of you going from point A to point B, like between the races, like then they like time you or give you like leaderboards. What if they had like a whole bunch of runs so that when you're getting from mission to mission, you're competing with leaderboards, and so there is like a motivation to go quickly and be cool about it and be proficient and become like this awesome parkour master.
I mean, in the first one they had the whole time trial thing, right? So like you would clear like specific runs, but I guess they could do that too, like the in between. The only problem you come across is like, how do you get another chance at improving your score? Because it's like once you ran once through that A to B, like what do you have to replay the whole game again? So I don't know. Maybe
at the end they could just say, at the end you could just get a prompt, be like, hey, this is your time, try again.
Yeah,
keep going.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, who knows? This is all speculation. Probably none of this.
Yeah, I just think hopefully we get something more this year and without the thing at the bottom where it says concept or whatever it said last time.
No, I think we're seeing like real gameplay. That game's early 2016. So I mean, it's
Q1, and you got to imagine with Uncharted and a lot of stuff dropping in March, I wouldn't be surprised if Mirror's Edge is like a January, February game. Like try to capture some of that Dying Light or Bloodborne magic.
Yeah,
real early on. So if that's the case, by E3 they'll be 7 months away from ship, so they have to have.
Yeah, I have a feel like Q1 2016 may be pretty insane. Like it's starting to look kind of crazy how many good games are going to be coming out. So, yikes, it's going to be nuts. I'm excited. I'm super excited.
This year, even the fall, the Juggernauts, the Halos, the Call of Duties, the new Destiny expansion, Tomb Raider. I've heard that some people think Deus Ex is very strongly coming this year.
Which I don't believe, but okay.
To give Square Enix another title, since Final Fantasy and Kingdom Hearts are nowhere near.
They have too many things coming out already, dude.
They have Tomb Raider, and that's being...
And Just Cause.
Do you think Just Cause makes it out?
I think Just Cause makes it out before Deus Ex, yes.
Why does it make it out? That's where you repeat the name of the game.
We've seen Just Cause gameplay. Like, we've heard that thing is almost, like, finished. Like, it's in a finished state, I think. We haven't even seen Deus Ex gameplay.
The theory I heard was that they would not want Just Cause to compete with Fallout 4 in terms of open world games, but Deus Ex would occupy a different enough slot that it could sell well in the fall, and then you shift Just Cause to Q1 of next year.
I heard that exact thing that you heard.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like Just Cause is like so different to Fallout. And considering most games now, more and more games are becoming open world, it's like it's a little weird to kind of look at it that way. I almost think like the open world genre is too big now to like you have to go open world and then what's your next genre, so to speak, and
open planetary. Gotta fly under that.
Sure.
No Man's Sky coming sometime in the next decade.
Hopefully. What if they announce that as their big thing for the fall?
I'd be very happy if Deus Ex came out this year, but I really don't see it. I think Hitman comes out. Well, no, Hitman. See, and if they have Hitman also coming out, like, where are they going to put all these things?
But I don't think Hitman is an October-November game at all.
No, it's not. But I'm saying, like,
did the last Hitman
they have a lot of stuff.
Well? Absolution? Yeah, we checked. Yeah, I remember. Yeah,
it was millions of copies.
Yeah, millions, as in 2.
Yeah. No, it was like 6.
And there is also at least 1 and maybe 2 or 3 unannounced AAA games from Ubisoft. So their stable
there's
is
the
going to get...
return of Prince of Persia, right? That's the rumor also this week.
Right.
Which I'm all for.
What else do we think it could be? There's 2 other games.
They did say that
it's got to be like Just
game.
Dance or something, probably.
Well, no, there was that rumor of that like medieval game.
Yeah, it's called like Hero or something, a new IP with no idea what genre that is or anything.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be surprised to see Splinter Cell reappear.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah, that's... Even though we got one in, 2013 or 12?
Yeah, it's been 2 years.
13, I think.
13, yeah. No.
But yeah, that's a franchise that hasn't appeared on next gen at all, so it seems like it'd be something for them to dip into. Did you guys read any of the Metal Gear Solid 5 previews by the chance?
I read. I if you can call them that, yes, I read them.
Such a weird thing.
Yeah.
They played 12 hours of the game and basically said it's Metal Gear, it's open, and it's fun. Like, that's all they were allowed to say.
You know whose preview was very good, and he got into more detail than that, was Greg Miller. He does love his Metal Gear stuff, but he made that video, and he was pretty detailed about as much as he could be about how the side ops work in comparison to the main missions and things like that. But, man, the word on that game is super, super positive. Like, crazy. I'm excited, man.
That's closer than you think, too. Like, after E3, we'll be into July pretty fast, and then September 1st is like...
Yeah.
Right.
I wanted to also bring this up, because no one mentions these games, but I feel like they could be sleeper. Like, not sleeper hits, obviously. They're not going to sell millions of copies, I don't think. But, like, Hellblade is coming. It's Ninja Theory's next game, and that looks cool.
I had no idea it had to deal with, like, mental illness and, like, delusion and stuff. That was kind of crazy.
That one, and, God, Platinum is going to announce a new game of some kind. Hopefully it's multi-platform. Fingers crossed.
Because the heavy rumor is like it's a Wii U exclusive.
Yeah. I mean, if it is, that's fine too, because they do cool stuff on Wii U. They did Bayonetta and whatnot. But
do you think it would be like just a Bayonetta spin-off?
I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think Bayonetta sells well enough.
But they love Bayonetta.
They do. Everyone does. I don't know anyone that doesn't. Except you, maybe.
I like Bayonetta. I don't have anything against hair.
Do you love Bayonetta?
I love the first one. I didn't play the second one, unfortunately.
Okay. All right.
But yeah, there's a boatload of stuff coming, and I continue to hear over and over again that E3 is going to be focused on 2015 games, and that means that
Drift is coming as well. I mean, that's it's Dead Space without the dead. It's just space. We were joking.
Is there any like confrontation or conflict in that game?
Dude, you're in space. Your conflict is don't die.
Okay, but like
survive, basically.
Oh, I have to bring this up. I would be silly if I didn't. Have you guys seen the trailer for The Martian?
No.
The movie?
The Matt Damon, Scott?
Yeah.
That trailer, like I got so excited. Like that's a movie like I will be there day one for. And typically I don't get into that stuff, but Max, just to like summarize it for you, basically they make a mission, take a mission, make a mission, take.
Make it, take it, whatever.
They make it and take it to Mars, and then there's a big bad storm, so everyone has to leave, and Matt Damon's character gets like blown off the ship, and
Sandra Bullock is there.
No, he's stuck. He's stuck on Mars, and it's going to take them 4 years to get back to him, even if he can even make contact. And he has like a setup that's good for 30 days, and so he has to find a way to like grow food for 4 years, eventually like build back his machinery to contact NASA. And then the trailer is incredibly revealing, like all trailers are. But it just looks like
it basically explores like him 4 years of his life on there.
Yeah, and then what's going on with NASA back at home, and there's like a pretty star-studded cast.
How long is this movie? It sounds like it could be a better TV show.
Yeah. Well, and he's like the famous, or my famous quote from the trailer, if that's even a thing.
Your own. Like, you wrote it? Wow. Well, that's a big
I put this one in. He says, like, I only was left with one option, to science the shit out of this. And then he's, like, trying to, like, make everything, like, really, like, work. And how do you grow food on a planet that doesn't, can't grow anything?
Obviously.
Speaking of which, that's exactly what I did on ARK.
You did?
I had to...
You scienced the shit out of stuff?
Absolutely, yeah. Because you kind of have to learn how to do all this crazy stuff with all these engrams. So, have you guys got
Destiny?
a chance to play?
Wait, Destiny?
Engrams?
Crossover.
Yeah,
what's going on?
It has engrams. It actually is tied into Destiny. Like, you discover that it's all Destiny related. The other thing that I found out, it's also related to like Yu-Gi-Oh, because it has all these obelisks in it. So
Yu-Gi-Oh's coming to PS4 and Xbox One. If anybody cares.
What?
Really? There's a Yu-Gi-Oh game?
Yeah.
Nice.
Like an open world platformer?
No. No.
Do you think we ever get, like, maybe with VR now, we finally get it to be like it is in Yu-Gi-Oh? Like, where you can actually put down a card and then it'll be like, Blue Eyes White Dragon.
Is that still the cool, like, monster, dude?
Okay,
like,
well, whoever is the elemental
Exodia.
Hero, somebody, whatever. I don't know what the coolest one is right now, but the coolest thing...
Concept.
Yeah, appears. That would be so sweet. I would love for them to just be like, hey, listen, we're going to remove all these new cards. We're going to go back to the old Yu-Gi-Oh, but now it can actually like come out and appear in front of you.
And they have like a Oculus accessory that has Yugi's hair.
Yeah.
attaches on
So
top.
do we all have to have a split? I mean, I know his isn't a split personality, but we should all have one.
Okay.
Yeah.
That only comes out when we're battling with our cards, and we got to scream out like the card that we're playing.
Yeah.
Like we got to
And every time,
scream.
did you ever do that thing where like when you dueled, you'd pretend like you're taking damage as well, like when your life points go down, where like your life points go down, and you're like, oh, I felt that. Oh yeah. Everybody did that. I hope, or else I'm in a weird.
I didn't
place.
do that, but I like it. It's a cool idea.
Yeah, I didn't do it either, but
That's what
I'm
we
gonna
did.
do it.
Me and my friends did that. We would always like be like, "Hey, let's make it like the show."
If I ever partake in another Yu-Gi-Oh battle, I will be sure to do that.
If you do, you should be like throwing ketchup packets at you.
Yeah, that's what so that's what we're gonna do at E3. Like, screw
You guys are
impressions of
gonna
the
play
conferences.
Yu-Gi-Oh?
We're just gonna play Yu-Gi-Oh all day. Live stream Yu-Gi-Oh battles.
Exactly. It'll be epic. It'll be incredible.
Let's go get a starter deck. Let's do this. I'll play you for your best card, Zachary.
All right. So
Yeah.
what is ARK Dynamite or whatever the heck this game is
ARK
called?
Survival Evolved, I think. By the way, it has the word evolve in it, so Zach,
be great.
you should love it.
Could be
and
great.
it has giant.
It's a sequel to
Dinos.
Combat Evolved.
It's an early access game, which is something like I feel we're saying more and more often. It's almost like its own genre at this point
It is.
of games, which is a bit unfortunate. I kind of wish that it would be complete, but it's a game that's very difficult to run. Like, it's not optimized at all. So the average PC would probably run it at like 17 frames or something.
It's too many frames as it is. We gotta lower that.
Yeah, so it's kind of janky for the average person. But if you can get it to run, it's kind of like a crossover between something like H1Z1 and Minecraft in terms of just like there's a component of like you log onto servers. You can play it solo, but most people I would imagine would log onto a server so you could kind of interact with other people. And basically you're in the prehistoric age where there's dinosaurs roaming the earth and you're trying to survive. So you're gathering resources, you're taking out dinos. There's obviously carnivores and herbivores. But the coolest moments of the game come similarly to things like H1Z1 or Minecraft in multiplayer and stuff, where, like, let's say we had a thing where we were walking and all of a sudden there's this ravine, right? And me and my buddy realized that there's a T-Rex in the ravine. Well, I decided to go down there, and then I realized that I didn't know that the T-Rexes become instantly aggro. So they, like, as soon as they see you, they charge you. So next thing you know is just I'm like shooting right up the hill and I'm screaming, dude, run. He's like, what's going on? And then he turns around and he realizes that there's a giant T-Rex chasing me. And luckily for me, somehow what had happened is that the T-Rex decided to chase him instead of me. So I started running off to the left side and he just kept chasing him and he ate him at the end. So that was good. Yeah.
I was gonna ask, is there base building?
Yeah, there is.
Okay,
and that's
so
a
I
very
can go
big
radiant?
fundamental thing because the game does not allow you to save your stuff in any way. So, like, basically...
Yeah, that's how all these games work.
Yeah, if you log off, what happens is when you log off, you become unconscious, and somebody could walk up and kill you, either a player or one of the dinosaurs. It could be like a Dilophosaurus could walk up and just eat you, and then you lose all your stuff. So,
All right.
So you go
so
like-
y'all made fun.
You go like...
Y'all made fun of me. I'm sorry. All right, one of us needs to go.
Go.
They think you should do it.
I was just gonna say, so you just like go all Katniss and sleep in trees, or like how
No,
do
you
you
build the base.
how do you avoid the
Collect
dinos when you're unconscious?
You build a base.
you build a base. Like, if
And
you
just
have...
sleep in it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
you sleep
And
in
the
it.
thing is, the first base you get, which is a thatch base, it's so weak that like a dinosaur can eat through it. You really, like, my advice to everybody who's watching, and if you're playing or you're gonna play, is as quickly as possible get a wooden base, because that's the only way that you're guaranteed to like sleep through the night and be okay and like log back on and most likely have all your stuff.
Unless you get raided.
Yeah. If somebody comes by with a T-Rex, because the other mechanic of the game, the big mechanic, is not just the survival element, but you get to tame the dinosaurs. So that's when you get like to, because a lot of the game is also like micromanagement. Like, you only have a certain amount of weight that you can carry, because then you become encumbered and you can't move. So you're like kind of balancing constantly stuff. But once you tame a dinosaur, they can carry stuff for you, and you could ride them, so you become a lot more mobile and quicker. They also have drops, just like in H1Z1 where every few minutes or every few hours or whatever, there's a drop that comes down. They're free though, so you don't have to pay for them. But obviously it's like whoever rides over there first gets them. They have different rarities. So it is quite in-depth. For an early access game, it's really in-depth. And I could totally see this game being equivalent to like Minecraft over time if it continues to get support. And if it adapts like a pretty good open mentality towards like mods and stuff like that, I could totally see this game, because I could totally see down the line people either adding more dinosaurs or even changing the dinosaurs to other things. Like I could totally see somebody coding and reskinning all the dinosaurs to some sort of different creatures, right? And then you could have different settings.
Putting jellyfish skins.
Yeah, like imagine if it's all like Splatoon kids.
Yeah. You guys made fun of me for it, but this is basically Reign of Kings with dinosaurs. That's what this is.
So is that really, like, is it just that game reskinned with a different theme? Like,
yeah, dude, it's Rust, it's Reign of Kings, it's all those games basically. That's what it is.
I mean, it's not a new theme. I think the main new mechanic, the only new mechanic, is probably the taming of the dinosaurs. So like, it almost has that kind of Pokemon type aspect to it as well, where you're like, hey, I want to tame a Brontosaurus, or I want to tame a whatever. But it does do also a good job of like scaling the things that you have access to, because like when you start, when you level up, then you have engram points, and through those engram points is the only way that you're going to learn like crafting skills. So like if let's say you're like, hey, I want to learn how to make a pick, or I want to learn how to make a hatchet. Well, you have to learn the engram first. So over time, that's how you get access to certain things. Like, for example, if you want to build a base, you have to learn how to build a foundation and things like that. And the other thing they do is they limit how many points you get. So it's like it incentivizes you to be in a tribe, because you can't build everything. So you constantly have to have friends. It's a good game. That's what I'm saying. It's a good setting. It's an interesting setting. And it's...
You're seeing this too, right?
Yeah. What's happening?
You're a robot, Max. No, he's gone.
I'm a robot?
No, well, yeah, and now you're gone. We can't see your camera.
Completely gone. It's my internet. You see, when I moved, my internet... I've been on a service provider calls for like ages, and it's still messing up. So I'm going to have to get another new router again. Do I sound awful?
We don't understand
you have to get a new router. That's what I gained from that.
Yeah, something about a router, but you sound amazing.
I do?
Well, we can't understand you.
At least,
I'll say this about
I'm getting good audio from
ARK.
Audacity.
I'll say this about ARK really quickly.
Okay.
While Max tries to compose his technological self, I'll be talking about it a lot in the coming weeks, because like I have a group like of like 6 friends or 7 of us, I guess, and we always jump on these games and we put like 50 hours into them, and like in a couple of days, and then we move on to the next one. So this is the next one we're gonna play as soon as A3 is over and we're back from that. I'm gonna be playing a lot of this, and that's how I'm going to spend my nights, just riding dinosaurs, and Max still isn't here. I don't know if you want to move along, Zachary.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I think it's interesting, like, the fact that these games are so similar and being just kind of reskinned, and yet still gaining so much momentum and capturing so much of an audience. Like, it's kind of, weird. What I wanted to ask you, Max, is, like, how involved is this taming thing? Like, is it just walk up and press a button, or is there, like, you have to craft different things, or fight it, or...
It's pretty involved because, I'm sorry, by the way, about the technical issues right off the bat. It's been a nightmare with the internet over here, so I'll try to get it sorted out, hopefully, by next week. The taming is actually pretty complex in terms of, it depends. Like, for example, first of all, the biggest distinguishment is, like, is it a herbivore or a carnivore? Because then you have to, based on that, they eat a certain different food. The way that you tame the dinosaur is by making them unconscious initially, which you can do either by like punching it a lot.
It's a good strategy.
Or hitting it with rocks, or you later on learn like to put like poison darts on your arrows. So then you can like put them to sleep with like a narcotic. Then there's a twofold mechanic. One is you have to keep them unconscious by feeding them narco berries, which keep them asleep. And then second, you have to feed them their preferred food. So if they're carnivore, you have to put raw meat or prime meat into them and make sure that there's constantly food in there, because if you if it's hungry and there's no food, it will stop the taming process and we'll start going back. So it is a pretty involved process. Like it could take, from what I heard, some people who were taming like there were people on our server who were taming like a T-Rex, like a level 30 T-Rex. It took them like 3 to 4 hours to like tame it. Yeah.
Wow.
This sounds like my jam. I want to put the 4 hours into this. I want to get that T-Rex, and then I want my T-Rex to die, and then I want to do it again.
Oh my god, Gabe.
Yeah.
Glutton for punishment.
So it's pretty crazy involved like that.
Yeah. Sounds cool. I definitely want to try it out. I think I probably will after this, actually, because I've been meaning to. I've never gotten into one of those games, but like this theme would be my theme as opposed to Vikings.
Me too. That's why I got into it, because I wasn't too huge into the others, but I was like, dinosaurs, let's do this. That sounds cool. And it is pretty epic. Like they do good things. Like, first of all, they do an incredible job of updating it, because like since I've been playing it, there's been like 4 or 5 updates with like new creatures, fixing things. So they are like really, really on it. The developers, I think it's because it's like doing so well for them. They're really trying to stay on it. And like, for example, one point I logged on at night, right? And it was just me, like all my other friends in the tribe were logged off. And I walk up to the water. I had tamed my first dinosaur, like a parasaur. I walk up to the water, and all of a sudden, I didn't know that this update added this new ginormous crocodile thing. Out of the water, this crocodile thing charges at me, and I'm like, what the hell is that? And so I'm trying to turn around quickly. Luckily, there were other dinosaurs around me, so I ended up like eating one of them. But like they add stuff like that where just at nighttime, all of a sudden, whoa, look at that, there's a giant snake. Or when you go in the water and you think, oh, I'm safe. Nope, there's megalodon sharks inside there. So watch out for that. Now there's fish. It's like they do a good job of adding more and more stuff.
And you guys don't play this enough to know this, but those updates, man, such a double-edged sword. Because yes, they add like cool new stuff, but they also like wipe the server.
Oh, like, for this it doesn't. I don't know why, but
like they will. Like there will be server wipes. It's just a thing. And that sucks, because you know you'll work 60 hours to get your Avengers Tower done, and then there's a server wipe, and now it's just all gone.
Oh, it better not happen. If that happens to me once, I'm done.
that will happen.
I have so many hours right now into it already. I think I'm like 23 hours in.
Wow.
Yeah, no, there will be server wipes, character resets, all that. It's gonna happen. So just know that that's a thing. So
please don't do it, developers of ARK. If you're watching this, figure out a way around it.
The entire thing is just a giant ARG for Jurassic World.
Yeah. I mean, it's clearly why they released it like the week of. It's like pretty obvious.
Man, we should have had a Jurassic World viewing party at E3. Is what we should have done.
How about an Inside Out Pixar movie viewing party?
Oh, there you go. That has been getting exceptional reviews. Like people are like, this is how the last few years people are like, Pixar's really not doing what they used to. People are like, this is going back to their roots and blah, blah, blah. And it does look really cool. It's definitely neat.
We can have a hot date of hot chocolate and ketchup at the movie theater if you want, out in L.A.
And you guys have to switch it halfway through.
Right.
No ketchup, but the rest we can negotiate on.
Okay. After we
hot chocolate, he's okay with.
Yeah, I'm cool.
And the hot date, he's okay with that too.
I'm cool. I'm cool with that.
All right.
Just no ketchup.
Have you been playing anything of interest this week, or just same old, wasting time in Gwent? And...
I have been playing a lot of Gwent. Gwent
are you done The
fantastic.
Witcher yet, or are you still not finished?
No, dude. I keep playing Gwent. Like
so, basically, now Witcher has turned into Gwent for you.
Yeah, it's just a Gwent simulator.
Oh, okay.
I've been playing Dirty Bomb a lot.
Game? What do you think?
Yes, dude. Yes, put that on iOS, please. Yeah? I just want to play. I want to play Gwent right now.
Mm-hmm. Hey, what's that supposed to mean?
Yeah, sorry, we're not
feel
fun
about that. Thanks, dude.
I'm just saying, I really like
technical
Gwent.
issues, but jeez.
I've been playing a few games, and I'll talk about them briefly. One of them, I'll just mention. I've been playing through Arkham City again, just in preparation for Arkham Knight. I've been playing Dirty Bomb. Dirty Bomb is so cool. I know it might not be either of your games, but it's free to play. It's basically free to play Counter-Strike mixed with Team Fortress. It's super grindy. Angry Joe keeps like ranting about it on Twitter that like it's the amount of currency that they give you like for matches is just not enough for what they like sell all this stuff for. They want you to pay it with real money, and that aspect really sucks. But the gameplay is so good. I love Dirty Bomb. I've been playing a lot of that.
Are the matches the same like Counter-Strike style? Like that's the game mode?
There's 2 game modes. One's objective based, and the other one is also objective based, but it's also time based because it's the same objectives, but you're being timed, and whichever team does them the fastest wins. That's that second game mode. The other one, it just completely objective based. Destroy this thing, guard this thing, move this
so
thing
no
from
team
point A to
deathmatch,
point.
like classic.
No team deathmatch. Not yet. All of that's coming. It even like it already shows that team deathmatch is a mode. It just like says coming soon.
What are you buying in this game then? Character upgrades,
right.
skins.
Are there jellyfish skins?
Characters. There's a lot of characters, right? They're called mercenaries, I believe, and each one of them you can buy for $5. Oh, they also cycle through them or whatever. And each of them is completely different. It's a different class. There's medics. There's assault. There's different kind of assaults. There's also different kind of medics. There's a medic that just throws a healing pouch and you can revive. The other type of medic can put down like a turret, I guess, that does an area of effect where anybody that's standing in that circle is getting healed constantly. So they have different variations on more traditional classes. They also have like giant brutes that have more health, things like that. The thing is, they're so expensive, man. To buy a new character, the good ones cost 50,000 of the in-game gold thing, right? You get about 150 per match.
Holy crap!
But there are like bonus objectives, right?
How
like,
much is that in like real currency?
You can buy each character for $5, I think.
Or play like 400 matches.
Yeah, but it
is free to play, right? So the game itself is free.
Yeah. The game is free. The gameplay is fantastic. The thing about the gold, right? It's slow to get, yes, but there's also like missions that get refreshed every 3 hours. That like it's say, win 3 matches as this mercenary, and you get like 1,000 gold. Okay. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay. So and those like challenges.
Yeah, and they refresh every 3 hours.
And are all of them 50,000? Or is that like the really good ones?
Okay, the really good ones are 50,000. All the other ones are 30,000. The 30,000 I got like in a day and a half of playing. Like not even like heavy playing or anything, but I was able to do that pretty quickly.
How is the balance then if you've got like these significantly superior characters costing more? Like, does that screw up the game modes then?
It doesn't at all because remember they cycle through. So some of those 50,000 ones, everybody can
like
use.
MOBA
because
style.
it's like League of Legends style.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So.
Yeah.
I don't know. It doesn't sound that bad because if you said you can get 30,000 in a day and a half, if you just double that to 3 days,
I think I started with like bonus money and stuff. like
okay.
That. Like,
okay.
I'm not counting all that, but also you get cases. You know the Counter-Strike thing. You open cases. It's a rotation wheel, and there those don't unlock characters. They unlock classes for characters. It's cards.
Classes. Okay.
So it's different layouts. So let's say I have a medic, right? My medic has a SMG and he has a pistol and he has like one ability or whatever, right? There's other loadouts of that same medic. He'll have a different gun with another different gun and like an extra ability, things like that. And you can upgrade it to, a gold card. A gold card would have 3 like supplementary abilities, like like faster recharge for your revives or stuff like that. And those are super random. The cases aren't super hard to get. You get one every time you level up. You can also buy like 20 of them for $10, I think. Which is also not bad if it wasn't so damn random. Because let's say it's maybe 30 cards, right? That it rotates. It's basically random. But all of them are bronze, which is the lowest level. And there's like 1 gold. Or like 2 gold and like 1 copper. I think copper is another one that's on there. That's rare. The blue one, I don't remember the name. But I've opened maybe like 10 cases. I've gotten all junk. I've never gotten anything good. So, I mean, that's sort
Isn't
of
that how those
problematic.
things are supposed to be, though? Like, people knife hunting in CSGO, like that's...
Yeah, but the drop rate on this seems like really, really low. Like, it's really rare. Like, really. Like, Angry Joe, like, he was streaming it, and he opened 20 of the things. He paid for them, and he only got 1 card that was worth a damn. But to be fair, when you get like repeat cards, you can combine them to turn them. Like, let's say you have a low level card, and you have like 3 of them. You combine those and it turns into a higher level card, and now you have a different.
Yeah, but that's exactly like CS:GO. I really don't know. Like, I'm not sure. Again, I've not bought cases, but I've seen maybe a couple of videos done by different people, and I can't. Like, I remember that they always complain that they get a lot of blues. So yeah. I think it's just maybe something that is like true of this kind of. Well, mechanic. and I've played a lot. We got to remember, like, it's a free game, so
yeah,
it's like
CS:GO is not free.
Yeah, and CS:GO is not even free, so it's like it's kind of like they have to monetize it somewhere, and it seems like maybe they're not doing it particularly fairly.
Yeah, that's the only thing. Because the systems in place are fair systems. It's just the percentages aren't there. Because even in CSGO, like, yes, it's rare to get something cool, but it happens. This, it's just not happening.
And that's
like,
for everyone, right? It's like, it wasn't...
Yeah,
okay. Yeah.
So.
Well, look, I mean, I think it's one of those things that they're either going to have to fix or, like, else the game is just going to die. Because the only way, like, a free-to-play game like this continues to thrive is if it gets a big enough, like, install base, right, of people who are, like, passionate about it. So
it's doing well. So I think if they fix these things, this could be, like, a mainstay. This is, like, the best free-to-play shooter I've played in a long time.
Nice.
And they've slowed down. Like, the last, like, really good one, in my opinion, was Blacklight Retribution.
That one was good.
Yeah, so this is, like, a lot like that, actually.
What was that other one called? Outlast? No, not Outlast.
No, Outlast is a horror game.
What was the one that looked a lot like Team Fortress? It was... Oh, man, I don't remember.
Overwatch, but that's not...
Loadout, yes. Yeah. Loadout. That's what it was.
Well, Loadout is third person.
That one was good.
Yeah, Loadout was very cool, too.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, but Dirty Bomb, man, I hope they just fix the background stuff a little bit. You know, make the drops a little bit less rare. Because I get it, you want your stuff to be rare. But make it a little less rare. The gameplay is super balanced. Any one of the classes that I pick, I always feel like I'm doing good. I'm partial to the medic. I just like going around reviving people. The gameplay's there, man. Just fix these side things and you'll be set.
Mechanically, is it like the micro tuning shooting of like CS:GO, or is it more Call of Duty style shooting? Like
it's a mix. It's not CS:GO. You can aim down sights. You can't really aim down sights in CS:GO unless you have a scope gun and stuff. If you played Blacklight, it's very much like that. Okay. Even the speed is very Blacklight. So
that appeals to me. I think I might check it out because CS:GO is kind of not my thing.
I didn't even hear about it till now. So.
Yeah, that we can jump. I played with a friend of mine. It's cool. Like, sweet. Being able to communicate and say, like, hey, go distract them while I go get this thing from point A to point B, get us to point. And the classes are very cool. They have the assault ones. The way you have like an airstrike. Right, you have a grenade, you throw it, and an airstrike falls there. And the way it works is to get it back is that it's timed. You wait like maybe 2 minutes or whatever the case is, you get to use it again. So once you learn the maps, you can funnel people in the way you want. Have somebody like on a sniper, like not a perch, but basically a sniper perch, and funnel them in with the airstrike, make them all run this way, but you're already waiting for them there. There's a lot of cool things. The spawns work very well in this game, which is surprising because spawns don't usually work well in free-to-play games. But
and there are skins, right?
Yes, Zach, there are skins.
Woo! I'm on board.
I don't know if there's skins.
Are there kill
streaks?
Skins?
Just say yes. That's how
no kill streaks. No.
Ugh. I want kill streaks in single-player games. Like I want Mario to be able to like unleash like a rainbow beam out of his forehead or something like a Mario.
You just want like a skin kill streak.
Yeah.
So that like you could just change yourself to a jellyfish, or like it just brings up all your skins and you could just pick whichever one you want to be.
There's something really great about skins. I don't know. I love skins.
Especially about paying for them. That's amazing.
I want Tomb Raider skins. I want Metal Gear skins.
Oh, you'll get them. You'll get all of those. To be fair, Dirty Bum just came out on open beta. It was on closed beta for a while, but it just went open. It's free.
Is that Splash Damage?
I don't know. Company? I didn't even check.
People that made Brink? Why do I...
It's very Brinkish.
Why do I feel like... It's that? Anyways, while you talk about that, the only game I've been playing this week really is Splatoon. Cannot get enough. It doesn't get old. They're doing a nice job of bringing in weapons and maps, and like I find it fun to take the challenge.
Yeah, they've had like 3 updates already, right? Since the game has come out. So far so good, Nintendo. Keep it up.
And like
yes, Zachary, it is Splash Damage.
Okay, cool. Like getting that ink brush weapon, which isn't my favorite, but like trying to push myself to be able to get that 1,000 natural point Splat God thing with that weapon was like a fun way to spend an evening. And it is like a weird model because we've seen, I think they showed 9 DLC maps, so this game is going to come to 14 maps like by the end of the summer, which then it's like, wow, that's a full thing. 4 modes, 14 maps, like we're looking good. Just so strange that they elected to hold all of that back as opposed to, put it in. But nonetheless, like Kelp Dome just came out this week, massive map. It's got like all these different barriers, so you really can get behind teams and just rack up points over and over again. But I like the fact that the last 2 maps they released, the DLC ones, Port Mackerel and Kelp Dome, they're really changing up the feel of like how it works. And last night I had Urchin Underpass and Kelp Dome in rotation, and the way you play those was very different. And like I just like the fact that same mode, same guns, same people, but the maps and the little nuances are forcing you to kind of approach things really different. And some matches like encourage a bunch of confrontation. That's how you're going to win. Some matches are more about pushing, your side all the way to the other side. Some matches are more just like cover as much as you can. And then I finally got to ranked, which have you played ranked, Max?
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about that mode. I like it, but I feel like it's very easy to get lopsided very quickly and kind of be decided early on.
Yeah, that's the one thing I didn't like about it, is that several times what would happen is like the enemy team captures the point, right? So then they start getting points, and then they would just like kind of perch on top and just rattle fire down on us. So it's like there was no way that we could literally just like, the only way we could have came back is if we all split up, went around, took the guys up top out first, and then were able to actually like get to the capture point. I don't know. It just feels like I agree with you. It felt like a lot of times the first team that got it and like could just position people in the right spots up at the top to like constantly be spraying down, most of the time won.
It's like kind of the antithesis of Turf Wars, which is like, oh, move around constantly, cover the entire map, be everywhere. And this is like, nope, go to the same point. I will say, I played it on Black Belly Skate Park, and there were 2 capture zones, and that felt a lot more fun.
That could be better, yeah.
Because then you had to have both at the same time, and so they were much more in contention, as opposed to just like one zone or whatnot. So Splatoon is still like it. I think it's overtaken Evolve as my favorite game of the year so far. So
wow, ladies and gentlemen, that is a big deal. The fact
now all you need is skins.
Skin.
Yeah, there is a like weird Japanese anime squid girl thing skin coming soon, so I'm excited for that.
Cool. Right. Yeah, the cool thing is also when you complete the game, you get armor to dress up like the Octoling, which is really cool too. So if you haven't done that, you should totally do that. Spoiler alert, I guess, kind of, sort of.
Get Fat Cat for the win.
The one thing I will say, do you feel like they should have more stuff like Splat God should have been thought to be in the game? Like, I almost feel like, no, and what I mean by that is, I really wish that there would be more like challenges, since there are specific classes. Like, I like the mechanic that we have in like Garden Warfare, where it'll be like, hey, do this and this and this, and then get your rank up and you get something. Like, it would be really sweet if they did the kind of thing like, hey, get 1,000 points with the ink brush, or get 1,000 points with the Nintendo burster, or whatever it was called, the N burster. It's like, I think it would
really
be
is.
It's cool.
It's so prime for like either class challenge based gear, or even like just like skins, like, oh, it turns gold, when you accomplish 1,000 sniper kills or something. It feels like the system is all in place with the gear, with the guns, with the very defined roles to have that. It's not a very Nintendo-esque thing to do, I guess, but yeah, it would add I feel a lot of depth and value if there was just like simple tracking of stats like that.
Yeah, it would be really sweet to see. You could just even give like, hey, here's a new shirt, or here's a new pair of boots or headgear, or yeah, it would just be really sweet. So hopefully they'll add that, though. You never know, right? Maybe some point they'll be like, hey, here you go, guys.
I want to know how the game's doing. Like, I wonder if
sales-wise
people are playing it. Yeah, well, yeah, but also just how many people are playing this thing every day.
I don't know. From my experience, I've had full lobbies.
Yeah.
So it's like I don't have the issue that I had like in the test fire, where several times it would be like you're waiting for someone or anything like that. Like, when I'm in a game, it's always full. So, again, there are, of course, much smaller lobbies, so maybe that's part of it. But I've not seen...
I think it's great...
downplay.
I think it's a great thing of a game this weird, because, we all like it, but it's a weird game. It's a very weird concept. If this can do well, I think the gaming industry is in a good place. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, a Nintendo shooter that, you're squirting guns at each other and turning into squids. It doesn't sound like it doesn't sound like a hit. But if this goes and sells 1 million copies, I think that would incentivize Nintendo to keep trying new things like this. So that's my hope.
That's the only problem that I am a little bit worried about, though, is that it's not on a platform that's primed to allow it to do incredibly well. Like, this is like one of those games where if it was on multi-platform, I think maybe it would have done way better. I don't know. Maybe that's incorrect, because maybe those platforms don't really value this kind of game. So
I think that the gameplay is so good that if this was on Steam for like $40, I think it would do very well.
Yeah, I just, the one thing I am worried about is like, I wonder, because you can see that Nintendo is giving it a pretty big push, and I'm worried that the marketing budget is going to be the thing that like holds back the success of this game. Is that like because it's getting all these commercials and all this other stuff that they're doing with the Splatfest and all this other stuff, I'm just a little concerned that maybe all that stuff is going to bite into the success of the game too much. I hope I'm incorrect, and I hope that it does incredibly well, because I want to see more of things like this. I think it's just really cool to see finally like a shooting game where the main objective is not team deathmatch. Like, you know, and even right now with Dirty Bomb, like you said, I find it interesting that they went with the objective-based game modes first, because it's a good sign of like maybe kind of evolution in the shooter genre, where typically it was always shooting game, team deathmatch. That's your main objective. Kill the other team, they kill you, keep going over and over and over. Here, they added a new component, and I like that a lot.
I was going to say, and this is the same for both Splatoon and Dirty Bomb. Even if you are going for just kills, like let's say you just love team deathmatch, right? You hate that it's not in here, so you just want to go kill and that's it. You can still have fun, and you're still helping out the team. Like, even if you're, like, just killing not killing, splatting the kids, you're still stopping them from spreading their ink. Same with Dirty Bomb. If you're just killing everybody, you're just still stopping them from hindering the rest of your team from completing the objective. So, they're objective-based, yes, but it's not, like, super hardcore, like, objective-based.
And at the same time, though, the good thing it does do is that it rewards the people that play the objective more than the people that go for kills, though. Because it's like... I practically see no scenario where if you're going only for kills in Splatoon, you end up being number one on the board. Like, there's just, I don't see that happening. So, luckily, it still does prioritize the people that are working at the objective, which is cool. So, yeah, Splatoon's awesome, and people should play it.
Last thing I'll say about that really struck me last night is it's nowhere near all the way to this point, but starting to get some games that remind me of sort of the discussion of like games as services, where, hey, I come back every, Wednesday night or Tuesday night, Splatoon at 10 p.m., they have a new item or a new map, or even the thing about like, hey, there's new maps, they rotate every 2 hours. Like at first that was really stupid, but I've kind of like scheduled like appointment-based gaming. Like I plan around that, which on one hand is like ridiculous and dumb. You should have access to everything. But on the other hand, again, like that gaming as service idea to like cater your life around. I'm sure people do that with League and with, those kind of games as well in terms of character rotations. Evolve has become that for me. A new skin comes out, and like that's when I jump back into that game. It's just kind of an interesting idea that maybe we will, as the free-to-play movement moves to consoles and as sort of the multiplayer focus grows and grows, more of this kind of stuff where it's like, Tuesday night is my Splatoon night because they do something cool, and it keeps you coming back as opposed to just burning out or forgetting about a game.
Yeah, I think it's just a sign also of like gaming, like we said before on several other podcasts, basically just gaming having a lot more of a tail. Like before this, it was like, here comes a game, you play it, you're done. Now it's like, here's Mario Kart, and look how many months down the line they still have new content coming out. So it's like, I just think it's kind of a trend of companies being like, hey, let's really kind of prioritize games almost like as their own platforms instead of just one title.
Right.
So
I think Smash is a good example. Like there's a Nintendo Direct coming for it. Like they're going to do something. New characters.
Yeah, there's the rumors as to who,
right?
Joining.
So weird.
Like all this stuff is cool, man. Like I don't mind it. So.
Yeah, for sure.
It's cool.
Let's move to emails because we have a bunch this week, and I want to make sure we clear the coffers before E3.
Before that, this is super quick. Don't worry. God damn, New Metroid. Like now it's seeming really, really likely, right?
Why do you say that?
Because Retro is going to be at E3 doing something, and unless it's
Diddy Kong.
Donkey, unless it's that, then what else could it be? Come on,
Zaxxas
Retro
wants
back to
everyone
Metroid.
to make Diddy Kong games. They're like, you make Diddy Kong Racing, you make Diddy Kong Smash, you make a new Diddy
Who needs
Kong
Mario?
side scroller.
I would like Diddy Kong open like 3D like a Mario platform, but it's freaking Diddy Kong in the Kremlin world. Yeah.
I'm sure they'll do that.
I don't know. My hopes for Metroid have gone up since Retro have set since it's been announced that Retro will be
coming
there, so
exclusively to the new 3DS.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. All right, so go on. Emails.
Nikolai writes in saying, "Hello everyone, keep up your greatness. My question for the
My question
for you is if you were going to be put into a game, would you want to be the good guy or the bad guy? Thanks, guys. Keep going strong. Don't be like LeBron's
Well,
hairline."
Zach really sold it. I wonder which one is the right answer. Do you want to be the good guy or the bad guy? It's like it's pretty
He's
obvious
like-
which one's Zach speaking.
Oh no, I love the way he ended the email though.
He did. It was clever.
Say that again.
He said, "Thanks, guys. Keep going strong. Don't be like LeBron's hairline."
Poor guy. My hope is that he shaves his head for the next season.
Yeah, me too.
I think he should just do it. Yeah. I want to be the bad guy in the game because I'm a good guy in real life.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's my reason.
I always pick the good guy. Even when the only thing I would do like the bad guy thing is like I would do it for like just like as a joke run type thing, you know. But whenever like when I played Walking Dead, I was like, I'm gonna try to be a jerk, and then like first few decisions, I'm like, nope, I'm not being a jerk.
It's so hard.
Yeah, because it's like there's just a weird thing of like where you get almost like. It's like a virtual morality, you know, where you're like, oh, I can't do that. So it's the same thing in Infamous. Any game where you have those kind of things, you know, like where, hey, can you be a good or bad? Like, unless if the protagonist, so to speak, is right away a bad guy, like, you know, and you're trying to maybe...
It's not a protagonist, then it's an antagonist.
But, you know, I mean, protagonist like the main character of the game. The character that you're playing as, unless if he's a bad guy, if I am given the choice between being good or bad, I'll always choose good.
Yeah, so do I for the most part. I'm replaying Fallout.
Okay,
new stuff for the channel, right? So I started it, and in the beginning I said, hey, I've played Fallout like 1.5 times, and I've always been good. I've always played the game the way I would make this choice in real life. This time I want to be like as horrible as I can be. I'm going to be terrible, right? The first choice, I'm like, man, I can't even bring myself to click the button to just be a jerk. I can't. I'm like, and I said, fine, I'm not gonna be a jerk. I'll be like medium. And it's so hard.
And then slowly you go back to just doing everything the same. It's weird because, especially, I think the other component that maybe is weird is also when you're recording it, right? Like I think that adds an extra because it's almost like you're like. So they're always going to know that I made that decision. They're going to know that I did that. So it's like it adds an extra weight to it, you know? Because when it's completely anonymous, it's like if you're playing it just by yourself, you could be like, hey, listen, I'm going to play this as the jerk run. So, I don't know. I think that's an extra thing that gets added.
What about you, Zach?
I would be the good guy for sure. I think games are kind of structured to make the good route more valuable. Like, if you think about Mass Effect 2 as an example, you know, sympathizing with the characters, getting along with them, getting their loyalty mission, you gain from that. You didn't really gain from I will manipulate you into giving me your powers. You know, if they could find a way to make the evil route work, even in Fallout 3, you know, there's options where being evil destroys an entire city, right? And I guess that's cool, but it's taking away versus gaining. So I would if I'm evil in Fallout 4, I get access to the seediest district of all of Boston, and now I get some sweet shop that nobody else has access to because I'm King Jerk and they recognize me and send me a invitation or something like that
that could be
to
cool.
Reward the bad side, as opposed to you already feel bad about it, and then typically it's a removal of features by being bad rather than. I think Infamous handled it pretty well. You're stronger if you do go the evil route. But I can't think of very many other examples. So yeah, I would pick good guy.
Can you all think of any games that you just play as a bad guy? Because I can think of movies and TV shows where the main character is just a bad guy. Like my favorite TV show of all time, Breaking Bad, the main character is a bad guy.
Yeah, there's not.
I can't think of any games where you play as the bad guy, unless
hatred.
Well, what about GTA? You're kind of a bad guy.
No, you're not a bad guy. You're not a bad guy in GTA. You're a morally ambiguous.
I don't think that's morally ambiguous.
But if you're
no,
selling...
I mean a really bad guy,
like the villain of the storyline.
Yeah, a villain. Yes,
you want to be Sephiroth.
Yeah, give me a Sephiroth RPG where I go around with my super long sword.
I don't know. I mean, it's weird because
carrots.
you see, it's when you say that, I almost feel again, it depends which perspective you're looking at it from, right? Because if you look at the people who are innocents stuck between the wars in GTA, you know, between the mob leaders and then your characters you're playing. Yeah, you're the bad guy by all accounts.
Yeah, but I'm saying
I think
cut and dry villain.
Yeah, but even somebody like Sephiroth, he still has redeeming qualities. The best villains are villains that you can sympathize with and kind of understand oh, that's why they're doing what they're doing, you know?
So you want, Gabe, a Call of Duty game where you play as Makarov and you go nuke America and take out the president and you're just destroying.
I'm not saying I want that. I'm asking.
I think it would be. I think it'd be cool. Game? I don't think of any, but
or maybe give us both. You know, what if Black Ops 2 had 2 campaigns?
Yeah. What about Overlord?
One where you play as I guess if you want to count that, but let's say.
Okay, then you have a very specific. What do you?
I do. Like I want to play as someone evil, right? Like, and
that's a good idea.
maybe even show how they get there, right? Because Walter White in the beginning of Breaking Bad, not an evil guy, you know.
Okay.
But it shows his transformation to that, and that's the story that.
Yeah, I mean, like think about Watch Dogs. If in that game, Aiden Pierce, like say they kill his sister early on the first act of the game, and then acts 2 and 3 are about his sort of like rise of power, and by the end he's like manipulating the entire city and paying people back and doing all sorts of nefarious things, and then your missions aren't saving people or protecting, but rather causing more destruction and chaos. Like that could be really.
No. The only one I can think of is maybe Prototype.
But again, you see, even in that capacity, it's almost like you're saying, hey, there's a motive, and there's like, you're not
but
really
you
like most
still.
people who you ask about Breaking Bad, like, hey, do you like Walter White? Yeah, I like him. Like,
well, no, you like him up to a certain point. After,
yeah, but okay, I haven't watched the whole show, but still, I think universally he's a character that is liked. Like, he's not a character.
I wouldn't say that.
But like, I don't think he's like a villain in the sense of like he's just pure villainous. Like
he becomes that.
Really? Okay. Well then, yeah. Clearly, I have not watched enough of the show. But
and yes, like there's always sympathy for him because, like I said, he doesn't start off that way. And I'm saying do that with the game.
Yeah.
Like don't start off like hatred. No hatred. But start off with a character that maybe even feels like he's doing the right thing or maybe doing the wrong things for the good reason. But then it's just so consumed by doing all this like terrible stuff that it sort of just becomes what he is. I think that could be a cool story, like the Black Ops stuff, right? Give us the typical campaign, but then give us another campaign from the perspective of the enemy forces. Like, what are they trying to gain by, destroying America or whatever?
Sure. Could be cool.
I think that could be cool.
Philip writes in with a plea for us to basically get back on the Batman bandwagon, which I don't know if any of us ever fell off, but I think just the delays and kind of the over-saturation.
It's a Batmobile, by the way. It's not a Batwagon.
Okay, the Batmobile. Philip says, regarding Arkham Knight, I know that the scheduling and everything, along with the delay, has hampered the hype for this game. I just wanted to bring up that while listening to you guys, I compiled an incomplete list of some of the things you guys really look for in games, in no particular order that Batman Arkham Knight has. Very good graphics, interesting story, fun gameplay, a world full of content and things to do, a well-polished game that motivates you to continue playing. I believe that Batman Arkham Knight definitely has the graphics down.
It's hard to say that one. You can't say it's well polished and
right, or it has motivation.
Yeah.
In his supposition, he says all the Batman games handle remarkably well. The combat, while now repetitive it feels, is undeniably a well-made system. The games generally contain good writing, solid voice acting, good plot lines. The map is very, very large. It seems to be filled with a lot of things to do. And lastly, the past games have been very well polished, and developers have claimed that this will have the longest story of any of the games yet. The mainline Arkham games have averaged a 95 out of 100, and basically just convincing us that this is game of the year.
Yeah, no, dude, like, I'm not like, Arkham Knight, no. Like, I want to play it.
Yeah. But I think the game is going to suffer from being... Like, basically what people are going to say is that it's just more of the same. That's my prediction. Is like, I feel like that's going to be its flaw, is that it didn't do anything, like, new enough. Which, again, we can get into a huge debate of, like, what do you mean?
Let's cut him off. I'm sorry. We can't hear you. We don't know what you're saying. You're a robot again. And
they're going to, like, the listeners are going to think we're crazy because his audio will be totally fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, his audio's fine.
For us, it sounds like a...
I'm really sorry,
garbled GLaDOS mess.
Is it still bad?
Max, while your internet connection kind of like fixes itself for a moment, I guess. I guess me and Zach can touch on it a little bit. It's not like we're not excited for it. It's just that it's coming so soon. First of all,
week and a half.
Yeah, a week and a half, hopefully sooner. And it's coming. The delays.
I don't.
The delays
question the quality. I mean, I just worry that it has a Mott's Applesauce sponsorship because it's more of the same over and over again, and that is my fear. But I still do not, and I don't think I ever have doubted the quality of the product. It's just how much is it, whatever. Tristan writes in a letter just for you, Gabe. So this is a perfect time. It says, "Dear Gabe, dearest Gabe, your fear of ketchup would honestly keep you away from me at all times because I love ketchup and I don't mind putting it in all my dishes. Ketchup and chicken soup, even."
What?
Don't worry. You'll overcome this eventually. Everyone does. Good luck.
I won't.
Good luck, Tristan.
Tristan, I'm sorry to say this. I can't ever see you in person. Oh, that sounds so gross.
Max, we were talking about a guy who said he puts ketchup in his chicken soup.
Is Tristan a guy or a girl?
That's a little weird. Well, I don't know. Maybe it's like a tomato soup. Oh no, it would be a tomato.
Ugh, it's so gross. There's 2 Maxes in the car.
It's good.
Get one
You
out of
cloned yourself. All right.
Bleh.
Let's. This is a letter from me, from Luca. He writes in and says, "Hey, what's going on, guys? Your videos always cheer me up after doing an endless amount of chores that my parents put me through."
Sounds like a Cinderella story.
Yeah.
Sounds like you're Matilda.
Says, "I always listen to your podcast as my mom makes me clean the whole house." Whatever. And he wants to let us know that he loves Evolve, so I'm not the only one. And he asks an interesting question, and we kind of got 2 of these, and I'll cite the other person later. But he says, Nintendo's new console, the NX, is obviously approaching. What do they need to do differently with their launch lineup in order to appeal to a wider base than they previously have?
I don't think they can.
Thanks for the awesome content, Luca.
I think the ship has sailed as far as like Nintendo mass appeal. Like, I don't think we're ever seeing that again. Third parties do not support them. And unless they put out a console that is on par with the Xbox One and PlayStation 4 without a control that's a gimmick.
So let's say they do, though, game-wise. What would they need to do lineup-wise to win people's dollars?
I don't know if you remember this, but the Wii U lineup was pretty strong. Like, the launch lineup, you had Zombie U, you had the new Super Mario Brothers. Like, it was a strong lineup. There was more than that.
No. It was a pretty strong lineup. I think nobody was doubting it at the time, especially in comparison to even like the Xbox One and the PS4. The Wii U had a much stronger, even I think maybe even like review score wise. If you look back, I think that one numerically was stronger. I think that what Gabe touched on is a key element, is that people would need to know that there will be third-party support. It's like that's kind of a prerequisite that is required nowadays. So they would need to have that, like have third-party games come out on launch, or come out on that console at the same time as they come out on the PS4 and the Xbox One. So that would be one. And then the second one is, I think what we touched on before, is they would need some sort of a new IP that could reach that kind of more mature audience. It doesn't have to be a violent game or anything like that, but it needs to be, maybe this new Zelda could be it. But the problem is, I think that it could suffer from the fact that people still look at it and say, oh, that's just another Zelda game,
right.
The average person. So that's why it would need to be a new IP that could be like, hey, this is something that is different.
I think they very much need like that cool factor, especially where they're at right now. They need to win that back, whether that would be like launching with something as dumb and mainstream as like an Assassin's Creed, a Call of Duty, a GTA.
Assassin's Creed was a launch title for the Wii U.
Yeah, but I guess like something that says like we are in this in the same way that Xbox and PlayStation are, because I think that is the big schism, is that people look at Wii U and say this is its own thing down its own like lane and targeting its own spectrum of gaming, and it's not going to be inclusive of the others. And if you want to reach sort of that mega status of 20 million consoles sold like PlayStation 4 has, you need to say, or need to be able to say, we have an appeal that will make you feel included and that you're not missing out. The Wii U is a +1 box for everyone that bought it, and the only way I can see them convincing people of that is by saying like, we've got Red Dead Redemption 2, we've got, whatever, and basically going for complete parity with the others, which then probably goes against their philosophy, what they want to do and whatnot. But at the same time, if Nintendo, regardless of the cash their name has right now, if they could say we have parity plus our exclusives, now you're looking at a really interesting proposition.
See, but then to have parity, you gotta do a few things. First of all, you gotta have an online infrastructure that works better than this, because the way that this one works isn't great.
But you also have to remember that this infrastructure is free, and the only one that is.
Yeah, okay, but make it better and then charge us, because obviously people don't have a problem with paying for it if it's good.
I think all this said, like, it's not going to happen. The NX is
it's not, because they're going to do some weird stuff with the controller. We need
people are saying it's going to be an Android-like system where it's going to be like kind of open
Nintendo
source.
Nintendo has said that's not true.
Type thing. Oh, they've already confirmed that?
Yeah, they said that's not true.
I think that the main thing that's going to keep that is this next platform is going to merge their handheld and console markets, in which case, like, forget getting all the main games.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't think it's happening.
I mean, like, again, the question was, what do we think they need to do? I think, again, I think it's third party, and I think they would need some sort of IP that could kind of, like, compete with, let's say, put it in the bracket of, like, Uncharted, Halo. Yeah. What is that for Nintendo? They don't have a game in that realm.
For sure.
Yeah, they gotta stop focusing so much on family. Like, I get it. You're Nintendo. You do family gaming.
Yeah, and that
That's
could be
cool.
their core thing, but you could still have a side project that could be this other thing.
And the interesting thing is, like, back in the Super Nintendo days, like, they definitely had their Marios, but the focus was not this family focus. And I think the Wii made them feel like that was their, like, demographic of choice, and then the Wii U is reflective of that. And maybe with the failure, you know, in many ways of the Wii U, then perhaps they do about face and reapproach as like a gamer's console for the next one.
Because even with the GameCube, right? Like, these were all multi-platform for the most part, but Resident Evil, for me, I'd rather play that on a GameCube. Same with a couple of those Metal Gears. It's like, those for me are GameCube games because I experienced them that way, and they're great. So
yeah,
Rodrigo,
but, and again, like, one final thing though is, like, I don't think that, again, we're saying that they need to be like Microsoft and Sony and start like making shooters and stuff like that. They could just still do, like, even it could still look family friendly and everything. Like, look at Pixar movies. Like, Inside Out is reviewing well, not just for kids. It's reviewing well for adults and kids.
Yeah,
they need to do that.
And I think they need story. We talked about that before. They need storyline games. Rodrigo writes in and says, "Hey guys, Rodrigo from Brazil here. Do you think that someday Microsoft will get in the handheld gaming market? And then what are your thoughts on the status of the Vita? Love the podcast. Keep up the good work."
Never. A resounding never.
Yeah.
Why? Microsoft is too smart to get into a market that's dying. There's the Vita. Like, the Vita, as cool as of a machine it is, and the indie support and all that, like, no one's buying them because of phones. Like, as phones get more powerful, you know, more people are making games for them. Like, just last week, a new Hitman game was released for iOS, Hitman Sniper, and it's actually pretty fun. I've been playing it. It's a little expensive. It's $5, but Square Enix prices everything crazy on iOS. Yeah, I don't think so. I don't even think we ever get another dedicated handheld from, like,
Sony.
Yeah, like, ever.
Yeah.
Much less, you know, Microsoft coming into that. It's a dying market.
I mean, I don't know. It's weird because, again, the mobile market is so strange, right? Because it's like everything is free. Like, that's the most successful
Not really. Well, yeah, that is the most successful, but not everything.
Yeah, but okay, you take like something like what was that game? Threes or something it was called?
Right.
Yeah. Threes was not free.
It was not free. But then it got just destroyed by the free version, right? That was like 2048 or whatever it was called. Something like that.
Yeah.
So it's just, that's the issue there, is that anytime that something is like value driven comes out, it gets immediately, like, there's a version that's free that becomes 10 times as successful through advertising and just like maybe microtransactions inside the game. So I almost wonder, like, if, as much as we've been talking, like, I feel like since 2008 we've been saying the mobile market is going to destroy mobile. I mean, mobile is going to be like, the phones are going to take over mobile market, and they certainly have. Like, from a financial standpoint, from a quality of games, I feel like they've only deteriorated. So I don't know that there won't ever be another handheld system, because I feel like there's going to be maybe room for that, like, to have a quality game experience. So maybe that will be something.
Well, they can't make money off of it, though.
Well, Nintendo's doing quite well, aren't they? With a handheld system that's specific.
Who?
Nintendo.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of
no,
like...
they're doing okay. They're not.
I think 3DS is still a crazy big seller, but I think
the 3DS is a massive success.
Yeah.
No,
Yes,
it's
it
not.
is.
It's a success. I wouldn't say it's a massive
humongous.
success.
I'm going to look this up for you
what
right
do you
now.
mean it's okay? It's not as successful as the DS, but the 3DS is a huge. The 3DS is the thing that's keeping, like, Nintendo.
Gabe, December 31st, 2014, Nintendo reports 50.41 million 3DS units have been sold.
There.
50 million, and that's December, and they just launched a new
but there's been, like,
console.
4 incarnations, 3 incarnations.
Doesn't matter. It's insane.
I guess.
What I was going to say,
there's no games coming. You know, there's not a whole bunch of games coming.
You'll see them announced in a few next week. But I think one thing is that the public perception is that an iPhone and an iPad is the same thing as a 3DS or a Vita. So why both? And they're totally not. The game experience on, like Max was saying, on the 3DS or Vita is so separate, but publicly or mass marketly, I think they look and say, well, I have an iPhone or iPad. Why do I need these other things? But they are very separate.
It's parents, dude. Like, it's not like these kids don't want a 3DS and an iPad. I'm sure they would gladly have both. But, you know, these things are expensive, right? So if I'm a parent and I'm on a budget and my kid wants a handheld gaming system, I'm going to get him an iPad because I can also read on the iPad. You know what I mean? I can use the iPad as well, web surfing,
Sure.
check emails. So let them play with it on the side. And there is cool experiences that are not free for iOS.
But they're far and
what's
few
that?
between. In comparison to the dedicated handheld consoles have way superior gaming experiences.
Oh yeah, hands down.
I just think that, like what Zach said, I think they're distinctly different experiences, and for some reason people lump them. It's mobile. It's like it's
Right.
not. It's very different. That's gaming, and then this is like very time wasty kind of things.
Yeah.
Not always.
In many regards, that's the
Gabe's
case.
going to become an iPhone developer. Looking
no.
forward to your first game.
Smasher.
We can keep this pretty quick, but loot.
Actually, fine. I will announce my first game.
All right.
I know people have been wanting this for a long time. I try to keep it under wraps.
Oh.
No, you guys got it out of me. Claw 3 coming
God.
exclusively
What
to
the heck?
iOS
So
and
you're
Android.
the one that outbid me. You're the one that outbid me for the IP.
I'm sorry, Max. Claw 3 coming exclusively to iOS in
Dang it.
2038.
Ludo writes in, and we can keep this brief, but he says, I recently got an Xbox 360 and wonder what you guys think is the best game of the last generation.
I just got asked last night on a stream, and I said Fallout 3.
Well, if last generation meaning like on the Xbox, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, 360.
Okay.
How about we each give them 3? You want to do that? Can you think of 3 real quick? I got my 3.
You go first. I'm gonna think because I'm trying to like make sure.
All right, I
that
say Bioshock 1.
Okay, yeah, that's a good one.
Fallout 3, and the last one we can call Halo 3. Wait, no, those servers aren't up anymore. All right, so the first 2 I said, and we will give you, man, this last one though. This last one's tough. Mass Effect 2. There you go, perfect.
What about you, Zach?
Those are mine.
I'll say Bioshock 1, Batman Arkham Asylum, and Assassin's Creed 2.
All great games.
Yeah, I'd agree with you on 2 of those: Bioshock and Batman Arkham Asylum. And then for my last one, I'm probably, just to be different, again, like I agree with the other games. I think they're really cool, but I almost feel like you can play those other games, better versions or similar versions of them on this gen already. I'd probably say Mirror's Edge because I think that's just like a game that doesn't have necessarily any games that are just like it. So that would be a very different
Mirror's Edge
experience.
Catalyst.
Yeah, or
Yeah,
we don't have that yet.
Red Dead Redemption's another good one.
Yeah, that's
Just
a good one too.
To throw that one out there. The whole Mass Effect series, like if you just got a 360 for your first time, have you never touched Mass Effect? Boy, are you in for a treat.
Yeah.
Mass Effect 1 is rocky. Like, don't let that game discourage you from the rest of the series.
Yeah, Mass
Like,
Effect 2 is a huge step up. And honestly, I'll tell you this much. You don't necessarily even have to play Mass Effect 1. I mean, you can.
Yeah, don't play 1.
But you can just skip ahead to 2. Because
I'd say do that.
So, like, I think that would be a lot more easy for you to get into. Because the mechanics are just better. And everything is better.
Donovan was the other guy talking about the NX, and he's hopeful that they have a 3D Kirby game, like a Mario style Kirby game for the first time ever, which I thought Max you would really like.
That would be awesome.
Thank you, Donovan, for that. Couple.
It's Donovan McNabb,
Yes,
by the
it
way.
is. Straight from the streets of. Well, no, I guess now he's on ESPN.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Thomas McCoy writes in, longtime listener, frequent, can't stop asking, emailer. We've gotten to a couple E3 predictions here, and he wants to know, since this is the last podcast before E3, make your dream prediction, dream hope for the big week.
Oh, dream.
Nintendo lied to us, and Zelda is there, and it's coming
I
out
think
this
Zelda is going to be there. Like, I think there's
trailer,
no way that they don't show something Zelda. Like, it might not be on the show floor, like, as a demo, but there's no way that they don't show Zelda or in some way, shape, or
So
form.
then why would they say that?
Because I think they meant, like, it's not playable on the floor.
I think
Maybe
that
that's
conference
what they meant.
closes with a full story reveal, gameplay reveal trailer.
Yeah, I mean, I think that would be the dumbest thing ever. Like, the only reason I see them not showing Zelda at all is if it really is getting pushed all the way to the NX and they're just, like, not releasing it on Wii U anymore.
We'll see on Tuesday.
Otherwise, like, I totally want to see that. Dream prediction. It's so weird because it's like the problem is like I almost feel like sometimes I want to like I would say something, but
Mine is
like,
definitely
yeah. Go ahead.
definitely BioShock, especially after the XCOM 2 thing broke my heart. If BioShock got announced, Gabe, I'll probably just hug you the rest of the day.
All right, let's do it. I'll go. BioShock coming to iOS, guys.
You better not. I think for me, I know that this is maybe like a cop-out answer, and I know it's kind of one of those things like, oh, that's kind of something I think everybody wants. But I really just want some like a new IP that captures like that, like something on the level of a BioShock or Mass Effect, something on that level, like a huge new IP. So that's
Project
what I would
Horizon.
want. Sure.
Hellblade is
the
huge,
Guerrilla
but
Games.
Hellblade seems
Guerrilla
so cool.
Games is like I'm really hopeful for that because I think that's going to be one that could really fulfill that. I just want because I feel like we're getting so much sequels and reboots and remasters that I just want something that I could be like, that's a new title and I'm looking forward to it. So and I don't want it to be compared specifically to anything. Like I don't want it to feel like a new thing. So
Like Evolve.
Sure. I mean, look, when Evolve was just announced, I was very excited for it. So I just hope it doesn't turn out like Evolve.
Yeah, but then they let you play the whole game as a beta.
Couple more. Hey, Dr. Nintendo, Captain Ketchup, and Milk Bags. I'm Omar from Ohio. I recently had a conversation with some of my friends about what we feel will be the Game of the Year contenders for 2015. They were dead set on either The Witcher 3, Fallout 4, and Metal Gear Solid 5. The main reason they feel these three games will be Game of the Year is because of their massive open world scope and scale. This made me think about some of my favorite games of all time, and most of them are actually linear story-driven experiences. The Last of Us, BioShock, Batman Arkham Asylum. I'm not against open-world games in any way, but I do feel like a huge open world doesn't necessarily mean a great game. I also started thinking about a lot of the current big AAA games and franchises, and a lot of them are going to be big and open world. The only linear story-driven games I could think of off the top of my head were Halo 5's campaign, Uncharted 4, and Quantum Break. Starting to feel like the gaming industry is moving away from the linear story-driven games, and want to know what you guys thought about this.
Two things. One, go Cleveland. 'Cause he's from
Yes.
Ohio. Two, Zachary, stop writing in emails.
Hey, listen, I was agreeing with everything. I was like, nice,
Yeah?
good job. I agree with you. Yeah, I think
This is
I think-
Zach. Zach wrote
I think
this.
it's absolutely true that we're having this weird crisis in the gaming industry of where people judge the quality of the game just based on the sheer scale of the world. And don't get me wrong, if the world is interesting, but I think that the key is, I remember when you read the Batman email, he said specifically, and it seems like there's a lot to do.
Right.
I think that's the problem of like 90% of open world games is that it seems like there's a lot to do because there's all these icons on the map.
Right,
But then when
right.
you start doing them, you're like, it's not a lot of fun and it gets repetitive very quickly and not enjoyable. So I'm a big proponent of linear, and I think that as much as open world can be done right, I'm a little worried that so many games decide to be like, I'm just going to be open world, because it seems like that's what gamers value. And to be fair, maybe that is what gamers want.
Yeah, and to go back a little bit to the question, I wouldn't be surprised if Fallout was Game of the Year. Like if it
Oh yeah,
truly
I
comes
think
out
it
in
will
October.
be. If it comes out this year, I think that will be the game of the year.
Yeah, that and Metal Gear, man. Metal Gear seems to.
I don't think so.
To have,
I think Metal Gear
seems to have something.
I don't
really
think
special
Metal
with
Gear
it.
has the mechanical proficiency or the like story focus to beat it.
I think
Okay.
Metal Gear is just too weird at this point.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I would say
the
opposite.
controls are never really great in Metal Gear.
I just I don't know. I feel like Metal Gear is too niche. It's almost like the same reason why Bloodborne would most likely not be the game of the year, because it's too specific. Like it's.
I disagree.
Yeah, I mean, look, I hope I'm wrong, because it's nice to see like new games to like be in that prominent spot. But I think if Fallout 4 comes out this year, based on the hype that it has and based on the reaction that people have to me and Zach saying that, hey, we may not enjoy this type of game, just that, like, you know, emotional response.
We're just trying to find a tree to hang.
I think it's a solid bet if it comes out. If it comes out next year, that's the game of the year as well.
But then it needs to be quality, though.
No. That doesn't seem to be a concern by anyone who wants to see the game. It just seems that the sheer fact that it comes out makes it the game of the year.
There's such an emotional charge behind it that game comes out, sells billions of copies, and like everyone is going to be drinking that Kool-Aid the rest of the winter, like no matter what. And
I'll die
the only thing I was going to say to Omar, one, like I vibe with you, buddy. We should hang out. But second,
That is your account, isn't it, Zach?
We should go watch a Cleveland.
The
game
second
together.
thing about that I think is very interesting is open world games and the sort of revolution of survival games on Steam. We've talked about them week in and week out. It really makes the experience about you creating fun and experiencing it with your friends, and you kind of taking a tool set and making a memory. And for me, what I love about linear story-driven games is that is the artist, the designer, the developer saying, we have a vision, we have something we want to share with you, and how do you react? How do you feel about it? How does it make you, feel? And that's something I think we're losing. Tool sets over tales. Like, I would rather have a piece of art be presented to me and me get to react to it rather than just say, like, go crazy with your friends. Like, that's where I get lost on that. But yeah. It's definitely an interesting thing to think about.
Yeah. See, I'm a greedy person. I want both.
Yeah,
I like my
would
linear
agree with you,
stories,
yeah.
but I also like
because, like, to be fair, I've had as much fun with ARK, even though it's not a flawless game, but that element of just me and my tribe friends running around and going on a crazy dino hunt, it's a ton of fun. Like, there's
So am I less crazy now about the Reign of Kings thing?
Sure.
Because I remember when I talked. Yeah, you see what it is.
Well,
now, right?
the thing that I didn't like about the Reign of Kings, what you were saying, is that you would just lose everything instantly. Like, that component is not fun. Like, I hope there's no server wipes or stuff like that coming to ARK.
There will be server wipes.
Well, that's
there has
probably
to
when
be
I will
because
stop
they need to
enjoying it,
update.
because I think that's a stupid mechanic.
Well, it's not a mechanic.
It's a
just that they
stupid
gotta update the
factor of the game. It's like you have to work that out, because I just find it to be weird that I'm so invested and then you're just going to take away everything.
It's just a reality of early access, unfortunately.
We got a email here from a listener from the very beginning. Dear Zach, Max, and Gabe, would you guys ever be interested...
Name? No name?
Yeah, I'll get to it. Would you guys ever be interested in making your own game? I hope you're well and continue to do so. Please keep me in your prayers. I'm going through some pretty serious health stuff. Your residential South African Hansi. And he's written in before, and we've read his emails before, so definitely thoughts go out to you with whatever you're dealing with.
Yeah, get well.
And on the would we make a game front, has that ever piqued you guys' interest?
I'm making Claw 3.
He's serious about that.
He's already on it.
I probably would want to at some point. The problem with it is it's such a giant undertaking, especially because you get to the point, realistically speaking, someone in our position could probably at best make a mobile game. That's about the scale that you have to think.
Sure.
To.
Yeah.
So it's unrealistic to be like, hey, I'm going to make a game on the size of a BioShock. It's that's not going to happen.
I would love to write a game.
That would.
A game. I can't make a game.
I don't think I would love to be able to be at the head of a creative team,
right?
Building a game.
Just want to hang out with Ken Levine. Just have
I just basically bring in Ken Levine, Cliffy. I'll just bring all the big people who are known for game design. And then we would just sit there all day.
One question: is Hideo Kojima welcome to this party?
For sure.
Okay,
it's going to be a giant mess of a game.
I just want to hire Reggie, and we're going to go to work, and we're going to take over the world.
Wait, you and Reggie?
Me and Reggie.
Okay, so wait.
What are you and Reggie going to do?
I think writing and the art. He's doing what? Coding?
No, Reggie's my hype man. Have you seen him act? Reggie's my hype man.
So,
he's gonna sell my games.
Mm-hmm. They're a rap duo. Zach's gonna be rhyming everything, and Reggie's gonna be his hype.
No, yeah, Reggie's like my what do you call that?
Is that how you have to say his name? Reggie? Yeah. Is that a new thing? It's gonna be like a remix?
No, Reggie's my ad libber. He just brings in the little side note noises every time I'm rapping. But no,
is Cammy ever welcome?
No, I don't like Cammy. She reminds me of Sarah Palin.
Yeah.
Wow.
I never thought that I would really want to make a game, but the more I do YouTube, the more games I play, the more I get in these discussions with you guys or battles on Twitter. I think that's where it's eventually leading, that kind of creative designer type thing. Eventually that would be a dream thing to have an impact on a game and take what I feel and have learned and garnered and I don't know. I have a real drive and passion, I think, for that maybe didn't exist before. So hopefully one day.
By battles, he means Yu-Gi-Oh card battles, and that's what his game is going to be. It's going to be the next Yu-Gi-Oh.
Exactly.
Yeah, he's going to call it DUO.
We can make a Gwent game. We can easily make a Gwent game.
Our last question of the day is just a fun one. Jordan writes in, said, "Hey guys, been loving Splatoon. Wondering if you guys know what each of your high scores are and your favorite weapon."
The junior,
Yeah,
the whatever
Splattershot
that one's
Junior,
called.
yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
I
it's my
like that
favorite
one.
weapon.
The arrow spray thing, that thing is really good too. A lot of people
Yeah.
use that one.
Yeah.
That's a very good gun as well. I think my highest score is post like the 300 point bonus for winning is I think 1370 something. So like 1300 in the high 1300s. Zach has got like 2000. No.
My high score I set last night. I need to get on that arrow spray because I've heard that's like the spreader of pain. But I got 1868 last night, which was pretty decent.
That's pretty awesome, dude.
And so that's like 1,568 points before the bonus, which was like I was like freaking out. So yeah, I'm going for 2,000 though. That's what I want to get.
Yeah, I don't pay attention to scores that much. I haven't been able to play it too much recently because time. But no, I have no idea.
All right.
Let's just call it 2 points higher than Zach's. We'll just leave it at that.
Splatoon is amazing, and E3 is going to be amazing next week. I'm not even going to do Hype City because we're going to Hype City, like legit going to Hype City next week. And we'll definitely have lots of impressions, casts, guests, fun stuff for you guys throughout the week. So stay tuned for that. It's going to be magical.
Yeah. Let's try to be not cynical this week.
Yes.
I think this is the most like Christmas-like week for the gaming industry. I can't wait. I'm so excited. Like, really, it can't come any sooner because it's just going to be basically a week and a weekend of just craziness. It's going to be so many news, so much stuff. And, of course, I know a lot of people are going to say, well, half of that is not going to come true. Who cares? Let's just enjoy it. Let's just enjoy it for what it is. And
I mean, at this moment on Friday night, we're 2 days away from the Bethesda conference. Monday's all press conferences. Like we're there, 48 hours, and it's going to be a freak show. So let's get excited. Let's get pumped. Thank you guys for listening. Follow us on Twitter, twitter.com/VolatileGabe, twitter.com/Blitzwinger, twitter.com/GhostRobo. I know there's been some issues with the iTunes feed. We're working on that, and we'll have that cleared up as soon as possible. I'll be posting the podcast on YouTube, SoundCloud, Stitcher, and a couple other places in the meantime to get that taken care of for you guys. And yeah, we'll be at E3. We'll be bringing you content, and it should be a great time. So thanks, as always, for supporting and listening. Till next week, the best week. We will see you all later.
The best week till E3 2016.
There you go.
or the PlayStation Experience.
Or the Gaming Awards.
Or Gamescom.
Or PAX Prime.
Shit, you guys got me. I should have announced Call 3 at PAX Prime.